What's the biggest headwind facing the U.S. consumer for 2021? Patrick Fruzzetti is with us, Managing Director, Senior Research Analyst, the Rosenau Group, Hightower, joining me now. Thank you so much, Patrick, to talk about all things very important to U.S. consumers, including inflation and expectations.
Yes. Well, thanks for having me, Nicole. As the vaccine continues to roll out with 25% of the U.S. now receiving at least an initial dose, which is very important. The economy will continue to reopen, but we've begun to see some pressure on the bond market with higher expected consumer inflation. And we've heard a lot from Fed Chair Powell over the past week talking about, embracing, interest rate volatility. The Fed's focus, honestly, is really on unemployment. So we think inflation is going to continue to march higher, and that's how we've positioned our portfolio to embrace that.
So how do you position the portfolio? You said you're watching for, some volatility when it comes to rates. You're seeing some inflation, and that the Fed is well aware of all of this, but as you said, they're highly focused on the labor market and not likely to make any changes there at the Fed anytime soon. That being said, when you try and manage a portfolio, I know you have different areas that you like, including, I saw some healthcare names, some stations that you watch, right, on the tube, and gold. So why don't you begin with some of the healthcare plays and why that might work out?
Yeah, no, of course. So, in your last segment, you had the CEO of WARRANTIES on, and, when we think about, in our area, large cap pharmaceutical and large cap medical device companies, something like diagnostic testing is not going away, right? Our experience over the past year has taught us that is going to continue well into the future. So when we look at medical device companies, particularly in the diagnostic arena, we're looking at companies that have good balance sheets, generate a lot of free cash flow, and have a pipeline of products and the ability to innovate for years to come.
So names like Johnson & Johnson, Abbott, and Merck, are those names that you like or names to watch?
Yeah, I would say in particular, just along those lines of medical diagnostics, Abbott is certainly the leader in that space. And then regards to, a company like J&J, of course, they've been a leader on the vaccine front.
You also like some of the stations, things we watch from ABC, Comcast, Fox, Disney, right. I don't know, Sinclair. You tell me, what do you like best and why? Yeah,
I'd say one that we've participated in quite over the last year, and has really had some good results most recently, a company like Nexstar Broadcasting. The broadcasting sector has really been an unloved sector for some time. They generate a lot of cash flow. They're capital light businesses coupled with shareholder friendly capital allocation policies. So as I said, the economy reopens, you'll likely see advertising move up with, more sports programming and the like, along with a pretty consistent recurring revenue base. So we really like that business, and from a value orientation standpoint, very attractive.
This group is to the downside today. I'm seeing Nexstar down. In fact, it's off its new highs that it hit recently of 163. It's at 144 today. And I see all down arrows for all those broadcast stocks. Yeah. So would today be a buy the dip opportunity to put a little bit in?
If you didn't own any, I think that's very fair to say. If you had no position in it, it would be. I think some of the pressure is coming from the, anyone who comes out, the second any company comes out with some streaming service, the stock spikes. And so we've seen some other companies in the space, none of which we'd recommend, have really spiked of late. And maybe it took the whole group up and it is now having a little bit of breather or a digestion period. But I think that this is definitely a company that's going to continue to grow in the years to come.
So it sounds like you believe that the Fed's really not going to make any drastic changes anytime soon. So you'll tell me that. And then gold is something that you like as an inflation hedge. And some people like gold more than Bitcoin. So I'd like you to give me a sort of a broad-based answer pertaining to what the Fed may do, why you like gold here, and is gold your choice over Bitcoin?
Gold's our choice over Bitcoin. It's been around for 5,000 years, not just 10. I understand, the advantages clearly of of blockchain technology, but I'm going to stick with something that's tried and true. That's one, always performed well, as a hedge against inflation and a hedge against the dollar. To be honest, I know the dollar has resumed some strength of late, but I think that, with continued monetary, printing and fiscal policy, honestly, that we're starting to hear more chatter about another $3 trillion spending bill, that in the end, we think will produce more inflation for the consumer, and we'll probably enter an era of what we call financial repression. And during those eras, you tend to see gold perform very well.
Are you overall positive on the markets?
I'd say overall we're somewhat cautious. We've always trim around the edges and reduce risk where we can. So we have a balance of our portfolio in cash for those opportunities. We would expect some pullbacks in the months to come, and it's usually driven by things like the bond market volatility that we've seen over the past month. That's not going away. That will continue, we expect, in the months to come, and hopefully it provides some good opportunities. And if they're there, then we'll be able to put some of our capital to work.
Patrick, thank you. Good conversation. I appreciate it. Patrick Fruzzetti, thank you. Managing Director, Senior Research Analyst, the Rosenau Group Hightower. Thanks.